Hello everyone, it's Ethan McKinley. It's the 2-Minute Terminator, where we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. We are going from minutes. Ellie.
For
Ben Carr.
Ben Carr, King Road, 10, King Road.
Ellie, you're fired. It's episode 8. It's Ethan McKinley, is the 2-Minute Terminator, and we are going from minutes 14 to 16, the 2 minutes bridging that gap. It starts with Sam Worthington crawling out of a chemical toilet, and it ends with Christian Bale jumping into another sort of toilet, which is the Pacific Ocean. Why do I say that? Because after a nuclear war, I don't think the sea would be a very nice place, and yet there he is. He just jumps in as is. No goggles, no backpack, no air, with his gun in his hand. What a man. Speaking of men, our eminent co-host, Ellie Fitzgerald, on the other end of the line.
Hey! Hello, people.
A refreshing outburst there. You can never keep that girl quiet, can you? Hello, everyone.
No.
It's the 2-Minute Terminator. Hit the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the fourth. Thank God. It sucked. It sucked.
And we're back. Yes.
We are back.
Right, Ellie. I'm assuming you've made notes. We are.
I have indeed. Now, shall we start with this 2 minutes, or shall we start with our mailbag?
Yes, start with mailbag, actually, because we've had a letter in from, I assume, yesterday's show when we talked about the gun that was on the side of the helicopter gunship, which was probably not an M60, right?
Well, our dear listener Spaldner, hi Spaldner, has written into us saying, "Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry I'm so late to the game in saying so. Ethan, you're right. That is the M60 machine gun that bullshit Bale is firing into the helicopter. Glad you're on board with the new lingo. And the same one that Rambo has made so gloriously famous. The reason why you don't recognise the back of it, is just because the shoulder stock and pistol grip have been removed, as it has been fitted with an aerial mount and dual grip trigger or firing mechanism. This is so. Is that a typo? This is so a gunner. Is this also a gunner? I don't know. A gunner can point the gun in all directions and not be hindered by having to hold it like a standard rifle.
I assume a gunner is the device that connects it to the thing that connects it to the side of the helicopter, I guess, so you can turn it in all directions, maybe. Let's say it spins on a pivot.
Please confirm this, Boldner. Also, in watching the clip you posted, I noticed a cock up that you haven't mentioned, tut Ethan McKinley, and is in regard to the gun. Ooh. When bullshit Bale crawls out of the chopper and stands up, brackets, right before the T-600 grabs his shoulder, close brackets, you can see into the helicopter and the M60 is not there. The mount for it is present, but the gun itself is not yet installed. It's all a little fuzzy, but it is distinct enough to see that there isn't a big machine.
So is Ellie's back.
Bit of a stegosaurus, have to admit. Okay, that's it for now. Oh, and congratulations on the new listeners. I've always said if you build it, they will come. I just hope you two don't start behaving yourselves just because you've got some new ears having a listen. Never. Although it's been a really long time since I've dropped the N-bomb. And please don't forget those of us who have been there since the beginning. Once you skyrocket to the top, keep up the good work. How could we ever forget our pen pal, James Spaldner? You make this show, man. And Josh and John and all our new listeners who I have yet to learn your names because none of you have written in.
Well,
and Josh, we don't even know is real. I think that Josh is genuinely a bottlenose dolphin.
Did someone write in with that?
No. That just came out of my brain.
Janine Dixon, you keep liking all our stuff. I assume you're a new listener as well. Hello, Janine. Welcome to the show.
Oh my God, have we actually got a female listener?
Oh, we've just ruined it. Janine Dixon appears to be a gentleman, but
called Janine.
In this world of liberalness and bathroom sharing and transgender.
Maybe it's our first trans listener.
No, he's not. He's definitely a dude. Yes, hello, Janine. Thank you for supporting the show so far. He keeps liking all our tweets, so I'm assuming he's listening to the shows. If you are, hello, sir. Welcome to the UK. It's the 2-Minute Terminator.
It's the 2-Minute Terminator. Do
Go
you
on,
want to just
letter.
explain to them what we do in this 2 minutes, Ethan?
Yeah, basically we're going to break down, if you listen to any of the other 1 minute, whatever, Jaws minute, Indiana Jones minute, Alien minute, Star Wars minute, Back to the Future minute, Wrath of Khan minute, the one that really got Ellie in a spin last night. We break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. We could do 1 minute and have more episodes, but it's an arduous ball ache to get one out every day. And we have this lovely thing where we can play deliciously on a pun of 2-Minute Terminator.
Way.
Right.
Hit the music. I'm joking. Okay, so...
If the music is at all obtrusive or evasive, by the way, it's going to keep fading in and out because we are listening to the Iron Man soundtrack by Ramin Djawadi from 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was the Beastmaster yesterday, but that wasn't quite as overbearing as the soundtrack to this. It keeps going really quiet and then fading up. It's like some driving Hans Zimmer score. I apologise.
I was going to say, I can barely hear it, but every now and again I get a little bit of percussion.
Anyway, right. Go for it, Ellie.
So, when I first saw this 2 minutes, we see Marcus getting out of the mud, or as Ethan likes to say, the toilet. This opening scene made me think of about 3 different things. So, my first thought was...
Chemical toilet.
Point 1. Actually, they're good for making a point. League of Gentlemen, do you remember it was the beginning of the 2nd series, and it's when Benjamin, the nephew of the Dentons are the ones with the frogs, the really weird couple, they have a nephew called Benjamin who goes to stay with them, who tries to escape and then gets captured by the local people, who then becomes their son and wife, or like sex toy. But he manages to escape, and for some reason when he comes back, he's all covered in mud and he's got like these fucking coconut tits and he's just all messed up, and it's raining and it's dark and it's really weird.
He eventually becomes a monster, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that kind of made me think of that. It also made me think of Shawshank Redemption, when the main character wades through however many miles of shit and then comes out the other end. And again, he kind of goes...
crawl through a river of shit. He was my friend.
Exactly. And then at the very end of this beautiful mud scene, we get Marcus screaming. Why he'd scream, I'm not quite sure. I know he's half human, but he's also half machine as well.
He's a bit like the Christian in Life of Brian, isn't he? He goes, "Oh, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive," and then everyone can see him, and he puts his head back in the hole.
But do you not think that particular bit where he's kind of looking towards the sky with his arms up and he's covered in mud, that made me think of Predator?
Oh, I thought more Shawshank, but yeah, no, Predator's a good pull.
Also, when he's kind of roaring, although his is more of a cry. But yeah, it just made me think of Predator at the end when he's going solo.
My only thing is, as I said in the other, I guess previous, I suppose, kind of things. He's lying dead on the mortician's slab in the previous clip, unless he's asleep. But I guess he gets activated in a sense, and then he crawls out of his hole. But are we to believe when he was put to death before the start of the credits, at the start of the movie, when he snogs Cancel and Bonham Carter, when he fades out, I guess, of consciousness and life, the next time he wakes up, he's on this butcher's slab in the future?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I'm assuming they thought. But also, if he died, how could he then be half human and half Terminator?
Well, I think that's the kind of... I know what they're trying to do here. It's more of
how would they reanimate the body?
It's
like
more of a poetic
side?
license thing, isn't it? That it's a Terminator with a human heart, so it's very much like this, I guess, kind of Wizard of Oz, Tin Man, like, kind of thing that they're going for. Yeah. And as I said before, and it's such a good, I guess, twist, we said it in every episode, if you have just joined us, this was going to have some kind of Twilight Zone ending, where John Connor was going to die, and Marcus Wright...
He's going to die!
Marcus Wright was going to assume the identity of John Connor, and then lead the humans to defeat Skynet, because he's a machine, he's got all the inside knowledge, but he's got a human heart, so he's kind of like Well, he becomes John Connor. John Connor's not the John Connor we've come to know and love in the Terminator films. It's meant to be actually Marcus Wright that becomes this Lord and Savior, and the real John Connor was killed.
Dun, dun, dun.
And as we've had, and we get flavors of it throughout this film, is that no one trusts this guy. No one, like half the people don't think he's like
a false prophet.
Basically, yeah. We're going to come to that in the next episode, but that's the general thing. And this guy would never have led people to victory, basically, over the machines. It's this guy, Marcus Wright, who would have done that. But as we said, John Connor was a tertiary character and only written up and made the lead when Christian Bale came on board and went, I don't want to play Marcus Wright, I want to play John Connor.
And if you don't, I'm going to shout at you.
Why you do that, I don't know. Because I suppose the actor's role out of this, really, even though Sam Worthington doesn't really do a lot with it, is Marcus Wright. He's the one with the most interesting character arc, from discovering who he is and then obviously taking the mantle of John Connor and assuming his destiny in a sense.
Do you not think as well, this whole kind of rising from the ground, again, it's really biblical?
Well, yeah, but you said this
after
before.
3 days, Jesus rose again, didn't he?
Well, he's got the same initials as Jesus, John Connor, so it's a messianic figure. JC.
No, it's not. No, but it's not John Connor that raises up, is it? It's
No, it's not.
Marcus.
But in the previous ones, I guess the Christ figure
would have been John
Connor and has
Do you know
been
what?
up to
I
this
never
point.
made the correlation with the initials.
Yeah.
We're building bridges, man.
We're building bridges.
Between the movies.
Something we've never done on this show before.
Ever. Okay, so...
If you want to know what Ellie's like arrest record is, or my laundry list for the week, please listen to Terminator Season 2. Or how many like awful sexual encounters Ellie's had in a particular month.
Oh, God! Stop! No, do go on. Let's talk about them.
Well...
It's been a really long time since we talked about my sex life.
I know. You've not been up to much, though, have you?
No. No, I have not. Although, I did actually receive a dick pic today, which I'll have to send to you.
Well, good for you. We'll start screaming at you, like Christian Bale.
Actually, do you know what? When that bit where he says, "Take me to command," because you see him get in the. Obviously, he gets rescued.
That's my biggest issue with the scene, by the way. We'll come to that. Please continue.
What did you say?
That's my biggest issue with the scene. We're going to come to that, but please continue.
Oh, well, all I was going to say about that was when he says, "Take me to the command," I was like, oh, he's starting to get irate. I wish he'd just kind of gone into one of his massive rants. That would have been so much better. And also a lot more convincing because...
Lisping through his bottom teeth.
Because
he's John Connor.
At this point.
Where's the trigger?
Yeah, the fucking voice, man. It's the gruff...
The Batman voice.
Batman voice.
I'm John Connor.
Oh, God.
I'm leader with resistance. Send me your dick pic.
Send me your dick pic. So yeah, I wish it was a bit mental there.
No one knew I was until I sent a dick pic.
I question though, when he's actually in the that fighter plane or whatever it is, which
Boulder.
I hasten to add, that looks a lot more advanced than the other helicopters that they've been using. So I'm assuming they do have more advanced technology, but for some reason they're using old school, like, fucking helicopters. Anyway.
And again, as we seem to be just repeating the same edicts through every show, where's the infrastructure to support this military, really?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Skynet just bomb where they get the gas from? Why doesn't Skynet just bomb the airstrip?
Do you reckon that all the... Do you reckon that all the people in this time are all vegans?
No, because in Terminator 1 they eat rats and things, don't they? And Kyle talks about that. In this lovely kind of...
Yeah, but you shouldn't eat any kind of food that comes from an animal. Animals have feelings.
Well...
You wouldn't eat your pet cat, would you?
Well, the thing is, there won't be any animals. There's been a nuclear fire that swept across the planet. There shouldn't be any sun in the first place, let alone anything to grow, whether you're a vegetarian or a meat eater.
Doesn't make any goddamn no sense.
It kind of doesn't make any sense. At least Cameron got it right in the sense they were literally living on the edge of life. They'd had a few weapons they'd stolen from...
Watching broken TVs with flames coming out.
Yeah, and then you could theoretically... The only way they could technically win the war is them sneaking into Skynet and just destroying, I guess, the mainframe. But we all know from computers now is... computational power and intelligence isn't centrally located. It's everywhere. Like Skynet is a giant system. It's in everything. It will be in the satellites monitoring the skies or like monitoring the planet from space, and it would know where all these people were all the time anyway.
That's scary. It's like Big Brother.
But I guess it's sci-fi, so don't, as James Cameron said, don't ask any more fucking questions.
Don't ask any questions.
When asked James Cameron, how does, if nothing like any living things, tissue can travel through time, how does the T-1000 get here? Shut up.
Shut up. So my point being,
if you want to know the answer to that, listeners, you need to go back to the start of season 2.
News. When John Connor is in the plane and the pilot says, "Oh, so are we going back to base now?" And he says, "No, take this
Let's go,
command."
glory
goes,
hole.
Okay, well, I'll radio them. They come back and saying, "This access has been denied. We don't want to be locatable." And then Connor goes, "Take me to command," and the guy just goes, "Oh, this is ridiculous."
No, Connor walks from the back of the helicopter. I said John Connor walks from the back of the helicopter really quietly. He just pushes the little mic away from his face, and he just puts a finger on his lips and goes, "Let's just go and land somewhere. Cut the radio."
Shh, just land. As if that pilot would have gone, "Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll ignore what Command said. I'll do what John Connor said."
Well, he's still a high-ranking person, and he does go and see...
No, not really. I thought we kind of established a couple of episodes ago that at this point he hasn't risen to that status.
No, he hasn't, but he's still a kind of known person. We're going to come to this when he actually goes to see Command.
But would you go against what Command said? You're flying the plane. It's not as if he's going to crash the plane.
Well, he doesn't really kind of... All this guy does is really... I guess fly the plane to a location and Christian Bale jumps out of the goddamn thing. If Command said we don't want to see John Connor, I think it's more to the point they don't not that they don't want to see John Connor. They're just like, we don't want him to endanger his life by jumping into the fucking sea.
Plus, he'd probably already seen American Psycho by this point.
This is the most ludicrous
get raped and killed.
This is the most ludicrous getting on a submarine since Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, I know. And why is it in a submarine? Let's discuss that in the next episode.
Okay.
What else did I get down here? Oh, we also see Marcus stealing the clothes from a dead Oriental-looking kind of chap.
You can't say Oriental anymore, really. Asian.
Can you not?
No. You have to use the catch-all term of Asia.
Okay, well, he looks like an Asian fellow.
I think the Orient implies the kind of British Empire and colonial rule and oppressing people.
Oh, God.
Even though China has some of the worst human rights abuses on record.
And
allegedly.
they eat animals.
Well,
like pets. Like they have that dog eating festival, don't they?
it is, but again, you could argue again, even though it's brutal and barbaric.
They've all got great skins, so they're doing something right.
No, but I'm just saying, they don't really see dogs as pets as we do in this part of the world. They,
Yeah.
like Mogwai and stuff are pets to them.
Mogwai! Yeah, the whole thing of Marcus being butt naked, walks up to some dude, steals his clothes. I thought that was a bit of a homage to the original Terminator films, because that's always what happens.
It's probably the walk of shame. Classic walk of shame. He was down there. He's just
completely naked.
Yeah, he's just some pervert wandering the wastelands. He sneaks down there to have sex with some dead bodies.
Cancer-ridden pussy.
No, oh my god. No, he sneaks down there to have some sex with some dead bodies. Realizes there's people coming in. He just pretends to be a body on the slab. Then it gets bombed. He's like the unluckiest necrophiliac in the planet. And he goes, "What now? First nuclear war? Now this?" He crawls out of the hole, and then his adventure begins.
And now I'm covered in this shit! And also, do you not find that in movies it seems quite amazing that every time someone steals someone else's clothing, they fit perfectly. I'd love it if one time, and the clothes are wet, I hasten to add.
It's happened.
An absolute mission.
It's happened in 2 movies, Ellie.
Which movies?
It happens in Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indiana Jones knocks out the wrong German soldier and his clothes don't fit, and then he gets caught by the German commander and beats him up and gets his outfit instead. And then in Die Hard, Bruce Willis tries to steal Carl's shoes, the blonde, blue-eyed Aryan Superman he kills and breaks the neck of. The first terrorist he kills in Die Hard 1, 1988. The shoes don't fit.
I can't believe you can remember shit like that.
Well, that's why I'm on this show.
This is true. If it wasn't for you. They're all the notes I have, Ethan. Did you have any cock-ups, or is there any trivia schmivia?
There is a little bit. I was going to say Sam Worthington. I was trying to find out if he was cast in this first, and I found out he hasn't. When basically Avatar, the same kind of year that Avatar came out, basically, but Sam Worthington was already cast in Avatar, and James Cameron, I get kind of foisted Sam Worthington onto this production game. This guy's my new leading man. He's going to be good. You should take him. We know this because McGee approached Cameron during the pre-production of the film, who was working in New Zealand at the time on Avatar, but he wanted to gain some insights in respect to the mythology of the first 2 films, basically. It was there during that meeting that Cameron recommended his art director Martin Laing as the production designer, and Sam Worthington, his star Avatar, to play Marcus in this. So he got him another job, basically. That was nice of him.
That was nice of him.
My only other qualm, really, with the set when he comes crawling out of this mud hole.
Climbing out of my muddy hole.
Yeah. We've got a female pervert on the as the co-host listens. No, I don't know. The set looks a bit like rubbish. There's 3 little flame bars, and there's a bit of scaffolding, and it's just got the rain machine on. I don't know. I'm so torn on this film. I can't decide if it's an absolute piece of shit or it just passes, just ekes by, and is it better than 3 or not? I don't know. There's
I'm gonna wait and see how I feel after we finish this season.
I like that they have done something different, that this film doesn't involve time travel and stuff. I can appreciate that. They went for a different aesthetic.
I guess I like the concept.
Yeah. I you know what, I think maybe the script before this version when Bale took over was probably a better script.
Been better. Oh, for fuck's sake. See, this is a film they should remake.
No,
I know
isn't.
You told me about it. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I know you told me about it. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to deviate ever so slightly from Terminator now, because this just enrages me. So, I know you told me that they were remaking Rocky Horror Picture Show as a musical.
And they've done it beautifully, haven't they?
Oh my god, it looks terrible. First of all...
An actual transgender person.
First of all, why do they have to make Frankenfurter black? 2, the fact they're making it a transgender person,
well,
they've literally detracts away from the fact that he's a transvestite. He's not trans. He's a man that dresses up like a woman. Not a man who wants to be a woman. That's what makes it kind of sexy. That's what makes it taboo. It's a fully fledged dude.
I know, Ellie, but these are the reasons. I think Fox as a studio, especially for the last 50 years,
God,
doesn't obviously treat properties with any kind of respect. We know this because we've got the Fantastic Four, which came out last summer, which was one of the biggest in terms of production, was a complete disaster. Their X-Men films, when they kind of tried to turn it back to the formula of to make it more like the comics with X-Men First Class, Bryan Singer obviously returned to the franchise and has steered it. Even though Days of Future Past was good, I don't think Age of Apocalypse looks very good. I don't know. I think Tom Rothman used to run the studio, and I don't think they made very good films. They're trying to come back. I think Avatar really is the only thing they can rely on at the moment. The Gambit film they're trying to develop, and they've dumped that because it was a $200 million budget apparently with fat Channing Tatum as Gambit. He's great in comedies, I love him, but as Gambit, no.
He's not hot either. Why do women think he's hot?
Now Deadpool kind of cost 60 million and made like 800, more than Batman and Superman. That's kind of like put them on a different track, I think, where they can make film, because Deadpool was kind of like an independent production, so Fox really couldn't take credit, I guess. But in answer to your question, Rocky Horror, they've just played it safe. If a regular guy had played Frankenfurter, all the transgender movement, the lesbian, gay, bi community would go crazy.
But why would they?
Because why wouldn't you cast someone who was a real tranny to play a tranny in a film? I know the whole point of Rocky Horror.
Because a tranny is different to a transgender.
I know.
They're completely different.
I know, but that is no longer shocking. The whole conceit of Rocky Horror, that it was shocking that a regular dude was playing this kind of like transvestite who has sex with the male and female lead. And all this stuff, you can't really. I don't know what you'd do to kind of like match that shock again.
Exactly. So why remake it? Why not just make a shocking?
Because I think they can
film
remake.
about a transgender person.
I think
why
they can.
rehash something that's already great.
Because they've played it completely safe. They're trying to tick all the boxes. They've picked a black transgender man or woman. I don't know which one he is yet. Sorry, listeners.
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't understand
You've already angered the Scientologists.
I know. I don't know what the gender pronoun would be, but they've played it safe, haven't they? They've gone for a black. It's almost like there's a black transgender immigrant in a wheelchair. It's just so they've tried to tick every kind of social issue box.
The original Tim Curry.
Well, the original Tim Curry is in it, but I think the reason Tim had a stroke now is when he found out that this thing was being made.
That permanent look of sorrow and despair is actually the initial reaction to him finding out that this transgender person was actually going to be playing Frankenfurter.
I think the biggest mark against the film itself is the fact it looks really cheap, like it's been done for television, and it probably has. It looks rubbish.
It looks like pantomime.
It does. It looks really like poor production value. I think they really should have gone the whole hog and spent money on it and done a proper big production with like big stars in it and stuff, and done it that way. That's the only way you can really do it.
I think actually would make a really good Frankenfurter.
Also, just to keep on the Frankenfurter point, the guy playing the new Frankenfurter is kind of not playing Frankenfurter but impersonating Tim Curry.
Yeah, it's bad.
Because he's going
He's impersonating the voice.
Yeah.
Don't. If you're going to do it, make it your own. Do you know who I think would have done a really good job of it?
Christian Bale.
It's bullshit Bale. Ethan.
Sam no, you bullshit Bale's your one.
It is, and it's the better one. What's the name of that chap that played Boy George in that Channel 4 kind of like short film?
Oh, Douglas Booth.
I reckon he would have done a good Rocky. Frankenfurter.
Well, he's a white, privileged, posh boy Englishman, so that might have put a few noses out of joint, I think.
Well, they put Cumberbatch in loads of films, although I do think Cumberbatch is actually pretty talented.
Well, if you've had an Ivy League education, of course you will be.
Yeah, but look at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This guy should be unloading trucks in Transylvania. He gets famous.
Weights? No one gives a fuck.
He gets famous lifting weights in a country that's not his own. He can't even speak the language. He says he's going to be the biggest movie star of all time. There's no way you're going to do that, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He fucking does it.
He says he's going to marry a Kennedy. And what does he do? He fucking does it. Oh, Bill, we salute you.
I lift weights. No one gives a shit.
Burr, by the way?
Huh?
Have you reached out to Bill Burr for questionable, by the way?
I have. No reply. John Carpenter actually got back to me and said no. Well, his representatives.
No!
They said, as much an appealing idea as that is, Mr. Carpenter has declined. I don't think John Carpenter even would have heard the message from them, to be honest.
Fuck's sake.
That's right.
John
We've got
Carpenter, get Twitter.
Cocaine Cowboys, director of the amazing documentary Cocaine Cowboys. If you've not seen it, everyone, look at it. It's on YouTube. It's awesome. It's about how cocaine and the real story of Scarface, basically. Cocaine Cowboys 1 and 2. He's coming on next week, I think, to talk about his films. So he's the next guest on Questionable.
All in.
All in. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Anything more to add, Ellie? As Christian Bale dives once more into the sea.
Follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, listen to us on SoundCloud, share, rinse and repeat tell your friends, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
The Facebook page has probably got the biggest collection of rare Terminator stills, gifs from like artwork to behind the scenes photography from all four of the films to crazy stuff like Linda Hamilton's twin sister album and Peter Kent, one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's body doubles from Terminator 1 and 2, who mysteriously disappeared and someone else took over. Something
I would actually like to add to the photos page on the 2 Minute Terminator on Facebook. I would actually like to make an album for all of John Nichols' artwork, because I was trying to find it yesterday because I was trying to show my dad and I couldn't collate all of it, and I thought there might have been an actual album, so I think I'm going to do that. So
can I
see all the amazing
what if we go one better and just ask him to send all of it back again?
Well, he might not still have them. You're always having a go at me for not requesting things.
I know.
John, go back into the archives and send us every single.
Well, there's a couple of cover photos I've slipped in, and there's a few things peppered throughout the albums, but
all slipped and peppered.
Exactly.
Is it poor man's pepper?
It is the best kind. Thank you all for listening, everyone. I've been Ethan McKinley, and we shall return later today. Actually, I'm sorry we missed an episode. I keep saying no too much. We missed an episode today or yesterday because I had to go to London for a Coca-Cola commercial.
Oh, how did it go?
Fine, really good. I had a good rapport with the girl who was playing my opposite, but who knows? When you think things go well, you never get it, and when you, I guess, think you fucked it up, you tend to get things. So I don't know, but the girl was someone who was with my old agent, so we had lots to talk about. We had a nice little rapport going on, so I didn't disgrace myself.
Watch this space, Coca-Cola. Is it actually for Coca-Cola then?
Yeah, but the reason the money's so ridiculous is because it's the American commercial, basically. That's why the money's so good.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Will you be shooting it in America as well?
No, it shoots in Budapest because life is cheap there. And if a couple of people die on set, it doesn't matter.
Oh, well. They'll probably put you up in a fucking swanky hotel.
Yep. With a silent S next to my female co-star, I hope.
Way!
Have you got any sugar in there or sweet and low packets?
They'll probably just, to save cash, they'll probably just put you in the same room.
We put you all in communal tent. All crew, all cast.
Anyway.
You have one blanket and one boy to either sleep with or beat. It is tradition.
Ethan will do both. Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally. Fucking ass.